Yo, what is good YouTube? It's the Deli, back with another Destiny 2 Onslaught build video, and today we're going to take a look at my Strand Hunter. In this build, we're going to have constant Strand Beyblades out on the field, defeating adds for us. We're also going to have a ×4 Strand weapon burst for our exotic of choice at all times, allowing us to do very big damage. Let's take a look at the build. Okay, so taking a look at the exotic of choice, we are going to be using the Foe Tracer exotic helmet. Its armor perk is Relentless Tracker. Damaging a powerful combatant, our guardian with an ability grants you a temporary bonus to weapon damage matching your subclass type. Defeating that target with a weapon matching the damage type of your subclass creates an elemental pickup. So this is really nice in this build. When we do hit a powerful enemy with our powered melee, our grenade ability, it's going to give us a ×4 strand weapon boost, and it's going to create an elemental pickup, which is going to be a Tangle, which we can turn into a Strand Beyblade. This is very strong in Onslaught because those Beyblades clear adds for us, and there is a lot of powerful combatants in Onslaught, so we're going to have a constant ×4 strand weapon boost for our weapons. Taking a look at the exotic weapon of choice, we are going to be pairing Foe Tracer with the Final Warning. Final Warning's intrinsic trait is All at Once. Holding down the trigger marks targets within range and loads multiple bullets which fire in a burst with increased stability on trigger release. Hitting a marked target with a fully charged burst will unravel them. Its trait is Pick Your Poison. Hit firing projectiles will track marked targets, dealing increased body shot damage on impact. Aiming projectiles have greatly increased velocity and deal extra critical hit damage to marked targets. This is a very strong exotic to pair with the Foe Tracer, since we're going to have that ×4 strand weapon burst, and this thing absolutely melts. This is also going to be able to stun barrier champions, since it is piercing sidearms in the artifact mod this season. This is a very strong option to pair with the Foe Tracer. We're also going to be causing unraveling as well, which just helps with even more ad clear. Alright, now taking a look at the super abilities, aspects, and fragments. For our super, we're going to be on Silk Strike. It's our only option here for Strand Hunter. For the dodge, I am going to be using Gambler's Dodge. It is a higher cooldown than Marksman's Dodge, but this is going to allow us to have our powered melee almost all the time when we dodge their enemies. And it's going to pair very well with one of our aspects. For the jump, we're going to be on Triple Jump. This is just preference. For our melee, we have one option, but Threaded Spike is really nice. It can hit multiple enemies, and when we do hit them, it's going to sever them, so they're going to be doing less damage to us. And if you time it right, you can catch it, which is going to give you a chunk of melee energy back. This is really nice. For our grenade, I do like Shackle Grenade because this will allow us to stun unstoppable champions. You could sub something in like Threadling Grenades if you want to go more into a Threadling style build, but I really like the Shackle Grenade. Alright, now taking a look at our strand aspects, our first aspect of choice is going to be Whirling Maelstrom. Destroying a Tangle will weave a violent writhing mass of strand fibers. The strand mass seeks out and damages targets, emitting unraveling projectiles when it defeats them. So you can see the synergy here with our exotic of choice. Our Foe Tracer is going to allow us to create elemental pickups, which is Tangles since we're on strand, and we're going to have a ton of strand Beyblades on the field, and when it defeats enemies, it emits unraveling projectiles. So this synergizes with our exotic sidearm, which is going to be causing unraveling as well, and there's also an artifact perk that causes even more unraveling. This is just a really nice aspect in this build. For our second strand aspect, we're going to be using Threaded Spectre. Activating your class ability leaves behind a decoy woven from strand matter that draws the attention of nearby combatants. After taking significant damage or when combatants approach, the decoy detonates, dealing damage and releasing threadlings that seek out and attack nearby foes. This is really nice in Onslaught because when we get those Tormentor rounds, this will draw their attention. This will get that heat off of you and your fire team. You can just focus on all the adds and leave the Tormentor for the very end. This also goes very well with the Shax decoys as well. Just more stuff to draw that aggro away from yourself. Very good aspect. Now taking a look at the fragments, our first fragment of choice is going to be Thread of Generation. Dealing damage generates grenade energy. This is a -10 to discipline, but this is really nice. We're going to be doing constant damage, so this is gonna be a nice way to get that Shackle Grenade back really quick. Our second strand fragment is going to be Thread of Warding. Picking up an Orb of Power grants Woven Mail. This is a -10 to resilience, but getting Woven Mail on orb pickup is very nice. It's just added damage resist, and we're going to be creating tons of orbs. Our fire team will probably be creating tons of orbs, so we're going to have constant Woven Mail in this build. Our third fragment of choice is going to be Thread of Binding. Super final blows emit a suspending burst from the target. This is a +10 to resilience. That's the only reason I'm using this fragment. You could sub it out for something else, but this is really nice when you have to pop that super and you do get a final blow. It's going to suspend targets in that whole area. So this is a strong fragment to run. Our final strand fragment is going to be Thread of Propagation. Powered melee final blows grant your strand weapons unraveling rounds. This is also a +10 to strength. This is really nice because since we're on Gambler's Dodge, we're going to have our threaded spike almost all the time. So anytime we get a final blow, it's going to give us unraveling rounds, which plays into the build even more. So if you can't activate the artifact perk, just get a melee final blow and you'll have those unraveling rounds ready to go. Okay, now let's take a look at our weapons of choice. We went over our exotic in the kinetic slot. If you don't have a final warning, some other solid options are the Rufus's Fury. I have demo and target lock on this roll. You could run the Wishkeeper exotic bow. Quicksilver Storm is also really nice because you're going to be able to create tangles, which gives even more strand Beyblades. And Fang of Iryu is also a solid option. In our energy slot, I like to run a disorienting grenade launcher. Wilder Flight is really nice. You're going to be able to just blind enemies. I have auto loading on it, swap back to final warning. It's a really nice combo. If you don't have Wilder Flight, another option is the Truth Teller. And then if you don't have Truth Teller, another option is the Empty Vessel. So if you do need a grenade launcher with disorienting grenades, you can actually come to Zavala here in the tower and you can use your Vanguard engrams to roll in Empty Vessel. You could get perks like auto loading holster and danger zone with disorienting grenades. Very good option for a blinding GL. In our heavy slot, I do like to run a Cataphract GL3. I do have Envious and Bait and Switch on mine, and sometimes I like to switch to Chain Reaction when we're on the ad clear rounds, and for the boss round I'll switch it back to Bait and Switch. If you don't have a Cataphract though, some other good options are the Coraxus's Distress. You can get Reconstruction and Surrounded, which is very solid in Onslaught. Since there's so many ads, you'll have Surrounded procced a lot of the time. Another good option is the Laser Painter. You can get this running Gambit. If you don't like to run Gambit though, you can get the Semiotician. It's another solid option. There's also the Macardo 45 and the Circular Logic, which is obtainable on the Amuna. Alright, now taking a look at our armor mods. On our Foe Tracer, we're going to be using 1 Harmonic Siphon, Rapid Strand Weapon Final Blows create Orbs of Power. We're going to be using 1 Font of Wisdom, so when we have Armor Charge, this is going to give us a +30 to our Intellect. And in the final slot, we're going to be using 1 Heavy Ammo Finder. On our gauntlets, we're going to be using 1 Focusing Strike, grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a powered melee attack. This is really nice. We're going to constantly have our powered melee up, so this is just going to be a nice way to get our dodge back even quicker, and we're going to be able to create those strand clones. Our second armor mod is going to be Impact Induction. Causing damage with a powered melee attack reduces your grenade cooldown. Even more synergy since we're going to be constantly throwing out that powered melee. We're also going to be using 1 Harmonic Loader. It's going to increase the reload speed for our strand weapons. On our chest armor, this is always just preference. I like to change this according to the threat and the activity I'm running, but Concussive Dampener is always a solid option. A lot of AoE damage in this game. On our leg armor, we're going to be using 1 Harmonic Scavenger. Strand weapons get bonus reserves of picking up ammo used by that weapon, so we're going to get more ammo when we pick up bricks for our grenade launcher. We're going to be running 1 Font of Agility, so when we have Armor Charge, this is going to give us a +30 to our mobility. So I'm actually going to be sitting at 100 mobility, which is going to allow me to get that strand clone back even quicker. Our final armor mod on our legs is going to be 1 Strand Weapon Surge. So when we don't have that Foe Tracer ×4 buff up, we're going to at least have a ×1 strand weapon buff for our weapons. And finally, on our class item, we're going to be running Double Bomber. When we do dodge, it's going to reduce our grenade cooldown. And we're also going to be running 1 Time Dilation. This is going to allow our armor charge to last even longer, which is going to keep those font mods and our weapon surges up even longer. Alright, now taking a look at the artifact, there are some artifact perks that do very well in this build. One is going to be piercing sidearm. Since we're using final warning, this is going to allow us to stun barrier champions. Another good perk to run is going to be unraveling orbs. Picking up an orb of power grants strand weapons unraveling rounds. So this is really nice. We're going to have tons of orbs on the field, but you know, we can proc unraveling rounds via our power and melee as well. Another good artifact perk is Horde Shuttle. Damaging unraveled targets with a weapon occasionally spawns a threadling. So you can see the synergy here. Our exotic is going to cause unraveling. We're going to have unraveling rounds most of the time. So we're going to have threadlings on the field as well. And our Strand clone is going to create threadlings when they explode as well. Very, very nice artifact perk to pair in this build. Another good artifact perk to run is Dragon's Bite. Breaking a combatant shield with a strand, our stasis weapon has a chance to suspend or freeze. So this is really nice. We're going to be using strand weapons, so we will get that random suspend from time to time. That is going to be it for the build. Here is a quick summary right here. You can see all the armor mods, all the artifact perks I am using, and you can see my stat distribution here. I would say prioritize resilience over everything, and then I would say mobility and discipline next. Here is a look at the weapons of choice and their respective roles. Here is a quick drip check for this build. Super Black Shader has got me in a chokehold right now. I can't even lie. I'm using it for a lot of my Destiny 2 fashion right now. Alright, now that's going to do it for the build. If you try this build out and like it, let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more Destiny 2 content coming very soon. I will have the dim link for this build down in the description below. Also, I will have the link to my Discord in the description down below as well. Thanks for checking out the video. My name's The Deli, and peace.